Emily was a very good, uplifting spirit, happy type of girl. She went to school, always maintained good grades, got along with her teachers, and she never had a problem with dreams or anything until probably about a week after her teacher would take off, and she got sick, and it was a substitute teacher that came in to take the slack of her, and this substitute teacher would come and he'd teach the class, and everything goes normal every day in class. There's nothing wrong with the substitute teacher or nothing, but for some reason when Emily go home, she started having these dreams at night. And in her dreams, the first time she went to sleep and she pictured her as some woman arguing with some guy, and then she'd go to sleep another night and she'll picture some guy like choking her and like yelling at her, like putting her hands on her and stuff. And then another night she'll go to sleep and maybe she had a dream about the guy, he was about to stab her. And basically these dreams just got badder and badder. So eventually she started talking to like a therapist, and her parents kind of got concerned because these dreams wouldn't stop. And before you know it, she's in a whole mental breakdown about her dreams, and she keeps saying like some guy is hurting her and stuff. So now they start thinking paranormal. They call a priest over to try to help her, but the priest would come over and he would kind of say a couple of prayers with her, put his hand on her head, hit her with holy water and stuff, but she still kept having the dreams. As a matter of fact, they got even worse. One time that he stabbed her to death and she actually died, and then all of a sudden she have another dream that she was standing on the edge of a cliff and this guy would just pull his gun out and shoot her and she fall down to her death. And it started getting so bad that her friends in school, when she go to school and stuff, would start picking on her and stuff. But this substitute teacher, he would start hearing about these dreams, and he gets so involved with her, and he's like, so what happened next in this dream? And here, let me try to pray with you, let me try to get you to forget these dreams. And he got really close to her, to the point where when she had these dreams at night, she would go to his classroom specifically just to tell him about her dreams and the updates and stuff. And every time he would tell her, he almost act like he feels the dream. She felt like she could relate to him. Like he just like really felt like he understood the dream. And she vented to him, and he always wanted to know more. And then before you knew it, he started coming past the house and checking on her and talking to the parents and just trying to really get more information, to try to say he's there to help. He was a very supportive teacher. A couple days later, after her still having these dreams and stuff, her friends in school would really start bullying her. One time she's outside and she's on the phone waiting for a ride, and all of a sudden you see 3 girls come up behind her and they picking on her about her dream, like, oh, little girl having dreams and blah blah blah, and saying all this bad stuff and everything. So after a while they started hitting social media, and before you know it, this story went viral. Now a lot of people hear it, but it also, when it goes viral, it went across the desk of a detective. And Detective Hank would read through these papers, and he reading through some papers and stuff and looking at old cases and stuff, because for him, even though the priest came to the house and these people, this person came to the house and this teacher came to the house and this family member and everybody was trying to help her, he was on another agenda. He actually went to the house this time and said, you know what? I would like to hear this story. And she would tell him 2 separate stories. First story, she would tell him all about her getting in an argument with some guy and he's choking her and then he stabs her to death. And then another story, he's telling her about her getting in a one-on-one and she has to try to fight back with some guy, and he took her to a cliff, pointed a gun point blank range at her, and pulled the trigger. So the officer's all thinking, he's scrounging up and stuff, he's writing down what she's saying and stuff, and he seems like he's really invested. And he said, okay, thank you for your time, we'll be in touch. And then he'll leave. When he left the place, he would go back to his office, he'd jump on his computer, and he'd start doing some homework, making phone calls, and now he got other people involved, and they in the filing cabinet, and they pulling down files and everything. And they started looking through case files, and then eventually this one detective would say, I think this is it right here, I found it. And then the detective would get up, Hank will walk over to it, he'll look at the thing and say, thank you, yep, this is it. This is all I needed. And then he went back to the kid and started asking the kid more questions, and the kid would give him the answers and stuff. And he said, okay, I think I got this all figured out. At which point you'll see a bunch of police officers. You'll see a bunch of detectives and FBI and everything. You see them all putting suits on and stuff because they was headed to talk to one more person. And this person they wanted to talk to was at the elementary school because they needed to talk to the substitute teacher. So they all get in, they come out, they go around the school with their guns and stuff drawn, and they would creep around the backside. You have some at the window, stuff. At this point, they evacuated the school building, had all the staff and stuff come out and all the students and stuff, and then they would go down the hallway and they'd go into this classroom, and he broke. He whipped out a pistol, tried his hand on shooting the officer. One of the officers would shoot him back in his right arm, and the gun would drop. He'll go over there, hit him to the ground, put him in cuffs, and walk him out the school. Once the officers had him in cuffs, then the officers would go up there and start talking to him, and they say, so this happened, and they take some fingerprints from him, and then they'll go ahead and go back, and then they'll get the little girls, and they ask them, her to describe the type of woman she was, and she would describe her picture down to a T of how she looked in these dreams for each woman she played. And then he said, okay. He drawed up the sketches, sent it to a sketch artist, got the sketches made, and before you know it, he closed a very big case. Because 10 years prior, the substitute teacher brutally murdered his wife. He went up there, he strangled her, he killed her. Stabbed her. Weeks prior to her having these dreams, the substitute teacher, Jeffrey, was the teacher's, Katie's, husband, posing as a substitute teacher, coming to that school to work, when the entire time he was just trying to make it not noticeable that he actually, in fact, did take his wife on this camping trip, and it wasn't a real cliff or nothing. It was a hill, and he took a gun point blank range and he shot her after a very big argument. And then he knew he had to cover it up, so he went to the school and he played this substitute teacher, and he got all invested inside of Emily's story and stuff, and he wanted to know about it. He going past the house and stuff. All of that was because he was shocked that this was the case from his ex. This was the case from his ex-ex. This is the case from, if you follow me, this goes back. So he got so invested because he couldn't believe he was hearing a story that only he knew. But if anybody in there can drop a comment to tell me exactly what it is that you guys think about this girl's dream being equivalent to this story, please, I would really appreciate it. But if you guys are into these type of stories, go ahead and smash the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, so you don't miss any of my 3 to 4 weekly uploads. That's gonna do it, guys. See y'all.